My operational conversion onto the F-18 Hornet was probably the hardest 6 months of my life. The course requires student pilots to absorb an enormous amount of information very quickly and also to be introduced to very complex flying sequences and then perform them the next day at a very high level with no practice, and then to move on with no consolidation and have to call on those flying sequences again in the future. I could not have got through that course without having a certain degree of competence in task rehearsal, or as we call it, chair flying. So every night I would sit down in my office chair and fly those sequences over and over in my head that I'd been taught that day in preparation for flying them the next day in the F-18. In the latest episode of Tools of Fighter Pilots, Tommaso and I focus on task rehearsal, how important it's been in our own lives, and what it can mean for you as an individual leading a business or for your team. Here's a short clip from that latest episode.
3, 2, 1, pack.
When I was leading up to go on my F-18 course, I was flying the Italian Macchi for about a year and was waiting there to start the course. The course ahead of me, they were doing 2 versus 1 air combat maneuvering on the F-18 during their course. And they lost 3 guys. When I say lost, 3 guys failed out of the 9 guys in 1 week because of 2 versus 1 air combat maneuvering. And it's because the friendly fighter that went up above the fight to then pull down and shoot the bad guy, when he was pulling down, there's a priority to deconflict yourself safely after you shoot the bad guy. And the students had never seen this before. So they're seeing this the first time in an F-18 under the pressure of being on the course, and when they haven't seen the pictures before. It's all new and they're required to perform at a high level. 3 of the guys failed. They didn't perform at that level, and they went off to fly other airplane types. And their dream was shattered. My flight commander fortunately saw this happening, and he instituted a rehearsal of this very specific task on the Macchi. Now, the Macchi didn't have the performance to, do a 7.5 G turn and pull up into the vertical above the fight. So we started above the fight, pulled down to shoot the bad guy, but we saw the same pictures that we would then see when we got onto the F-18. We practiced this over and over again, and because we'd seen these pictures, we'd developed the neural pathways, we knew all the ways to deconflict. We didn't lose a single person during that phase of the F-18 course. So task rehearsal has been critically important the whole way through my military career, through my airline career, and now as a businessman presenting and consulting and coaching, I use it all the time. So yeah, super important.